What's up troops, let's get it. So the most notable thing about this mission is that hitting style requirements isn't trivial if you want an S rank on every section. If you only care about the overall mission rank, it's completely free, but where's the fun in that? To start with, we have the introduction of pyrobats, which are a total non-issue of an enemy. They can be stunned by just about anything and they won't attack if they're off screen, so you can either rotate the camera to take them on one at a time, or just keep an eye on your surroundings and snatch them or hit them with charge shot or whatever whenever you see them winding up for an attack. So just do whatever comes easiest. Trying to stay grounded while attacking them gives you the most opportunity for raising style, but that's not always an option. The next fight is long enough you don't have to prioritise style as a premium. You can hit SSS pretty easily because the enemies clump a bit and you'll probably be hitting more than one at a time with level 3 charge shots. The sky is, as per usual, the safe place to be against both the Hellcanas and Antinora, so I would recommend killing the Pyrobat as soon as possible, but if you just keep your wits about you and pay attention to its movement, it shouldn't present any kind of threat. Keeping your fingers ready to use Devil Trigger whenever the Antinora powers up and gets super armor is about all you need to do to trivialise it. All of its attacks have the biggest wind up in human history, and the fact it can't be staggered is its only real threat, so if you simply use Devil Trigger to invuln through it, it's barely more difficult than a regular Kana, even with other enemies around trying to attack you. The first riot fight in the tunnels is completely optional and you can hit S rank on style without it, but I couldn't do it consistently enough to formulate a strategy that still let you skip it every time. The plan was to lure them into the narrow passageway and then have Gerbera lasers do the rest of the work, but I messed up a bit here and didn't get the laser bounces I needed. Regardless, taking one of them out in here while the other one is off camera and none of your attacks are knocking it out of range makes it quick to dispatch. When you split them into 1v1s like this, they're basically just punching bags. Every hit stuns them, so if you just keep whacking away however you like, they're not going to be able to attack you, and on the off chance they do, the Devil Trigger button is right there waiting for you. Eliminating the Lusatia as soon as possible is the number one priority in this fight. There's enough opportunity while everything's spawning in to hit it with the breaker attack of your choice after it does its first teleport, and Punchline is the clear choice for a quick kill. I launched it slightly high so the first punch missed and I only hit with the explosive follow up. If you actually connect it will kill it in one. If you let it stay alive for any period of time, its range attacks will really start to become a nuisance. So if you do happen to mess up like I did here, you still need to keep diving on it and making sure it's locked down. This fight is the best spot in the mission to unload your breakers, and you don't need any for the next fight before the boss, so feel free to just go nuts here. Keeping things in the corner like this lets you go as wild as possible. You're probably going to get some riots stacked up here and your charge shot should be hitting more than one of them. Devil Trigger is really amazing against riots, because their large hitbox means you can easily keep them juggled after using Devil Trigger Snatch to grab more than one of them, where smaller enemies would fall to the ground. I would always recommend turning it off when you get to 3 bars remaining however, so you can keep your panic button. The Death Scissors fight is complete filler and not something you should have any trouble with if you've already made it through mission 2. The terrain is kind of weird and you might get caught on geometry sometimes and the camera will do weird things to you, but apart from those extremely minor roadblocks, this fight should be pretty effortless. Keep pressure on as much as you can, and if you ever clash swords with them, just jump away or pop Devil Trigger. They should barely even get an opportunity to attack if you're playing it right. Jump cancelling makes things a lot easier, so it's a nice opportunity to warm up if you're not fully comfortable, because it's very, very useful against Artemis. Snatch can be useful for keeping them stunned and stopping them from attacking, since even if they block it, it resets their animation and you can jump in and start swinging before any of their animations start up. But really, they barely have any opportunity to actually hit you if you keep slicing away. Seriously, nothing about them should give you trouble. Total padding fight. Much like this chunk of commentary to block dead air, but that's not the point. My main advice for Artemis is take things slow. It's really easy to jump the gun and get hit by things you should not get hit by. If you aren't regularly using jump cancel yet, this boss is basically screaming at you that now it's time to learn. Once you've identified what she's doing, being in her face is the absolute safest place because most of her attacks will just straight up miss. The only two to keep an eye out for are the vertical lasers, which will require you to jump away for a moment before using caliber to dive back in, or the scream, which can be avoided the same way, or more optimally, just use Devil Trigger to invuln through it and keep the damage going. The only thing that should make you change up this strategy is when it fires out the laser bits, which are number one priority. One charge shot or two colour up shots will take them out, but the targeting on these can be an absolute nightmare and they have a tendency to hide behind the main body, so again, don't rush. Just hang out till they're dealt with. Strangely, if you want to stun her early, which you should by the way, avoiding using charge shot too much is a must. I'm not 100% sure on the numbers behind it, but my guess would be if you trigger an invisible next phase by doing too much damage, her stun meter gets reset, which is common to many bosses across the series, but there's no visual indicator or pattern change here till much later. The only really critical breaker requirement for this fight is having some busters for when you score the knockdown. It does absolutely absurd damage and can cut the fight duration in half. When the bits come out again, it's the same deal. Take your time and don't rush it. You don't need to chase her into the sky quickly at all. Interrupting her is based on how far into her animation she is and not how much you hit her. If you do get there early, you can put out some extra damage, but you'll also trigger DT sooner, making your buster do less damage, so while it's still a nice bonus, it's a small one. Her new attacks in the last phase can all be avoided the exact same way as the others, with the added bonus that they're long enough you'll have an easier time hitting with breakage attacks. I'd done enough damage at this point that she died before I got the opportunity, but if she throws out attacks such as the ground laser, there's more than enough time to hit her with a boost knuckle. Same for if you pop Devil Trigger to invuln through the scream attack. Pretty easy boss overall. Enjoy your S rank and I'll catch you on mission 4. See you troops!